Hey Aquas, welcome back. We're gonna do another episode today of Tarot Talk with me, tawanantoinette. This is gonna be your June reading. It can resonate for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, so bear that in mind. I know I've been a little MIA. There have been no weekly readings so far. It's because my schedule has changed a lot, so please bear that in mind and bear with me as I go through these changes. For those of you who have been sticking with me, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support, and I will always appreciate your support. So sending a big thank you to my returning subscribers on YouTube and on the podcast. Thank you so much. And then I also want to give a big shout out to people who are booking me for personal readings. I am honored that you trust me to deliver these messages and guidance to you, so thank you for booking with me. And last but not least, remember to like these videos, drop a rating on the podcast, support in any way you can, because that encourages me to continue to put out this free content. So with that said, let's start. First card we have, Come to the Edge. You are the second air sign that has gotten this reading, this card for June. And this card talks about taking a risk. Now, I think Gemini's also got it. So if you have Gemini placements, go check that reading out. But I feel like this is a theme with air signs in June, to take a risk. Now, clarifying that with the tarot, we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles. Now this screams, take that risk, take that job, take that leap of faith. This is in your career and finances. There may be an opportunity that is presented to you in the month of June, and you're like, not sure about this opportunity. It seems kind of risky. Maybe I'd have to leave my job that I'm occupying right now. Maybe it will rearrange my schedule a little bit. There's some kind of risk factor in an opportunity being presented to you that may cause you not to want to take it, but I feel like that's the opposite from what Spirit wants you to do. Spirit wants you to go to the edge and take this thing, because I feel like it will be better than you are imagining that it will be. It may spark your creativity, and you realize you're enjoying it a lot more than you thought you would, because you're able to be a lot more creative in this environment versus other environments you've been a part of. But I just get a strong feeling of you not realizing how much of a promising thing this is and how beneficial it is to you, because you're assessing the risk factor and you're like, maybe I shouldn't take a careless risk on this thing. Take the risk, Aquas. I feel like the risk is in your benefit. So if this is like a new job, you may have to leave your old job to do that, or whatever you feel like is risky in this new opportunity being presented. I am just reassuring you that sometimes it serves us to take a risk, and this is one of those times for you in June. Now, moving on to the middle of the reading, the middle row starts with TikTok. What's funny is, I think Gemini's also got this card. No, Libra's got this card. So the air signs are like recycling the cards. And it's really interesting because I shuffle the cards at least 5 times before I do a new reading. So very interesting when cards continue to pop out for the same types of signs, like air signs and whatever. So yeah, TikTok talks about divine timing. And then beneath that we have the Six of Swords, the Death card, the Temperance card, and the Ten of Cups. Clarifying the Death card, we have this King of Wands and this Nine of Pentacles. I assume one of these people are you. You may be dealing with a fire sign or a possible Scorpio. Or could be dealing with an earth sign, because none of these is you coming up in your own energy. So you're not coming up in your own energy here. So it could be anybody. What I think this row is talking about, though, is that something has reached the point of completion. Something is done. The timing is done. It's time to move on. Move on to something calmer. Move on to something more reliable. Move on to you know, like, I'm so surprised that the World card isn't here, but then the Death card is here, so I guess it makes sense. It just, in a nutshell, this row is talking about you accepting the fact that something is over. Just accept it, Aquas. Accept it and move on. I feel like as soon as you accept that something is over, but the sooner that you accept that this is done, is the sooner you get to the healing process of coming back into emotional balance and attaining this level of happiness. Whether this level of happiness is by yourself, this could represent self-love for a lot of you, but a lot of you, this is finding your happiness with another person, because the Ten of Cups talks about sharing that happiness, and that's why there's a family on this card, because the Nine of Cups is a wish fulfillment and having everything for yourself, and then the Ten of Cups is where you share all of that goodness, that emotional satisfaction, that joy with other people. So I feel like you are, it's this process of just accepting the fact that someone may not be your person, or just maybe time to move on from somebody that you're dealing with in the month of June. It's okay. That's definitely okay to move on from people. Every single relationship will not be a permanent relationship or a permanent fixture in our lives, and that's fine. So the sooner we can accept that is the sooner we can move through these energies and go on to the next experience we're supposed to have, however long that experience is going to be in our lives. And then in the last row, we have deep knowing. So you know something at a cellular level, you have a deep knowing, and then what heightens this knowing is the High Priestess card in the tarot that's beneath it. The High Priestess talks about intuition. It talks about hidden knowledge. It talks about receiving knowledge not by reading or by accessing in all of these logical ways, but accessing intuitive knowledge, that is hidden knowledge that we perceive, that our spirit guides and our angels and our ancestors help us to perceive from our extrasensory abilities. So what I want to tell you is maintain a vision that you have in the month of June. If this is a vision for your business, if this is a vision for, I think this is going to be related to some kind of thing that you are working on. You may not be a professional in this thing yet. You may just be a novice. This could be a business idea. This could be a venture, could be a travel plans. It could be a special project, but there's something creative that you're doing that I feel like you need to hold your position on. The thing may not be successful right now. You may not feel lucky right now, or like time is on your side right now, but time will be on your side. Maintain your position. Hold on to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, you're trying to actualize. You will go through a process of learning a lot, but I also feel like that you won't always be in the Four of Pentacles energy. Maybe this is you're investing in a particular business and it's not generating a profit yet. Does that mean that you should give up on your business? No, you won't always be in this Four of Pentacles hanging on to every single penny. The business will eventually grow with continued effort. You're just in the baby stages and you need a little bit more experience to continue to grow yourself, continue to grow your skill sets, and to continue to grow the things that you need to do to grow this business. So I feel like maintain your position. Whatever you are envisioning can be achieved. And I think you know that. If you have an inkling on giving up on something in June, I think Spirit is saying here, you know that this thing may not look the way you want it to look right now, but the vision is possible. So just hold it. Hold the vision, Aquas. Let's get some self-care advice for you. Spirit, what is the self-care advice for Aquarius in June? Self-care advice for Aquarius in June. Guys, remember to follow me on Instagram at Tarot by Tawana. Since I'm not posting as regularly these days, I update my Instagram page and the Instagram community pretty often because it is a really cool, concise tool to be able to get tarot messages out to the community. Let's just say if you are not able to listen to a full reading on YouTube, or if you are not able to listen to a full podcast episode, the Instagram community is where I put short worded messages and digestible information to give you a really good summary of what is in store for you in the tarot. So remember to follow me on Instagram. What's the self-care advice for Aquarius in June, Spirit? All right, we have a jumper. The self-care advice is deep breathing. Beautiful. How can you focus on breath work in the month of June? For those of you who smoke, this may be particularly helpful. For some reason, I'm interpreting this as smoke above her head, and I just feel like that's a message for those of you who smoke often. How can you be more mindful of deep breathing exercises? It's always better to prevent something than to cure it. So, and we know that deep breathing and breath work really helps. So maybe time to consider that as a more mindful practice for you moving forward. Now, something that I want to introduce in the readings moving forward is do's and don'ts. So I am pulling on one specific thing that Spirit absolutely wants you to focus on doing this month, or a perspective that Spirit wants you to focus on having this month. And I'm going to pull another card for the most important thing that Spirit does not want you to do this month, and then we'll go from there. So let's jump into it. Spirit, what's the most important thing for Aquarius is to do this month? What's the most important thing for Aquarius is to do this month? Most important thing for Aquarius is to do this month, Spirit. Empress card. Know that you're abundant, right? Know that you can attract the things that you want. Know that the comfort here being portrayed by the Empress card is accessible to you. And if you're already vibing on Empress energy, remember, just a reminder that you're abundant. You can call in whatever reality you would like to be present in your life, because that's what the Empress does. The Empress doesn't fight with people. He or she doesn't stress to get a particular result, because he or she is confident that they can pull in that reality by tapping into their feminine energy. Sometimes it's about pursuing things aggressively in the masculine energy, but other times it's about pulling in a reality from things like visualizations, belief, prayer. Sometimes the work isn't as aggressive as, or it doesn't need to be as aggressive as a masculine energy, or the masculine energy in us would want to pursue something. Sometimes we get what we want simply by being in this energy of letting it come to us. So this is an energy for you to embody in the month of June, the Empress. All that I need is coming to me now. Probably, if that works for you, say that as an affirmation. Spirit, what is the most important thing for Aquarius to avoid in June? Most important thing to avoid. The Ace of Swords just flipped out, but it flipped back in. Most important thing for Aquarius placements to avoid in June. All right, we have two cards. First card we have is the Magician. And then the second card we have is the Strength. So the Magician in the shadow side is manipulating a specific situation or manipulating a specific person. Don't manipulate anything, right? Especially as it pertains to the strength card. It's coming out with the strength card, so that makes me feel like imposing your will onto someone or onto a specific situation. Also, be careful what you're manifesting, because something that you're manifesting in June may not necessarily be for you. It could be this relationship that has already gotten to its ending. Like maybe you want it to work, but Spirit is like, there's better ahead, Aquarius. The biggest thing that I would say though is do not manipulate. If you find yourself manipulating a situation, manipulating a specific person, pull yourself out of that energy. It doesn't serve you. You don't need to manipulate anything to go in a specific direction. Whatever is meant for you will be meant for you. You will have it because it's meant for you. I also feel like in June, if something is too much of a struggle, maybe it's not for you, you know? If you're having to... So funny how I just noticed how both of these cards have the infinity signs. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, it feels like if you're having to struggle too much with this manifestation, if you really want something to happen, but it's just not happening, maybe I feel like it's possibly with this person. Don't force it. Don't force something to happen. Just take that as, you know what, maybe this is not my thing. It's not meant for me, and move on. I have a feeling that something else and possibly something better is waiting for you. So you don't have to struggle with people who aren't able to give you what you want, or situations that aren't able to give you what you want. You know? Whether this is job or with a particular person. Not this thing that you need to hold your vision on, because something you definitely need to hold out on. But there are some other things that maybe, hey, you don't need to struggle so hard to attain this thing. Maybe better is out there. That's why you're being blocked from it. So, guys, I'm going to leave you here. Remember, if you'd like to go deeper, my booking link is in the description. With that said, I will leave you guys here. See you next time. Bye, guys.